Before I start this video, I just want to say the last one we did, which was the talking about the general transfer window saga that's going on surrounding West Ham and the complete mess that it is. The comments were outstanding. There were some really, really good points raised. I do go through them and trying to respond. I'm still actually going through those videos, those comments from that video now. So I just want to say thank you for that, because it does mean a lot, and it's also interesting because it gives you another things to consider. It gives me things to actually have a little think about and think, yeah, he's right, and I do really appreciate it. It just makes for good debate. So do keep them coming. Of course, as well, just another reminder, if you're not a subscriber, then just do click the subscribe button. It's free to do so, and you keep on our journey. And we've got a big season coming up, of course. We've still got the summer to conclude with signings. I know, hilarious, but we might actually make a signing. You never know. And in fact, some of the comments from the last video were very good, and also a lot of people were saying, thank you for trying to keep positive, and I know it's been tough, and some people were actually getting a bit annoyed that I was being quite negative as well. I do really try to keep positive as best I can. It's not easy though, being a West Ham fan, but I do try my best to not get swept up in the whole sort of hysteria, which is very, very easy to happen. Is to do so. We all do it at times, but I have tried my best to kind of keep stand back from the situation sometimes and think actually it's not as bad as we think. But this video is actually going to be a relatively positive one. I'll try my best anyway. So James Ward-Prowse, there's movement in this deal now, and I would be honest, if I was a betting man, which I am, I'm not gonna lie, but if I fancied a flutter on this, it's one I would say is probably likely to happen. I actually do think James Ward-Prowse will come to West Ham in the end. That's my gut feeling, that this will one that West Ham will get over the line. There's a few reasons for that, but I'm just all going to go through it now. So first of all, West Ham have already made a bid for James Ward-Prowse. It's come out in the press that the bid was £20 million overall, which actually was 17 million plus 3 million in add-ons. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't think that's that bad an offer, personally. I don't think it's that bad. West Ham, a lot of fans are very angry about it. I feel like it's a massive lowball offer, a bit embarrassing. I understand, especially the fact that Southampton have kind of stated they wanted something closer to 40 for the player. So I kind of do get two angles of it. I do understand where fans are sort of going, well, hang on, why would you do that? It's embarrassing. And apparently the Southampton hierarchy were angry at the offer. It rejected it outright straight away. But having said that, if you consider what Arsenal were doing with Declan Rice situation, I think it's quite standard. I don't want to get too caught up in the jumping on attacking David Sullivan for that. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's just an opening offer, isn't it? To say, look, this is what we're going to table, £20 million. They've rejected it. And then they're going to as I understand it, West Ham are going to go back in with a second offer. Now, Jason Wilcox, who is I believe, the technical director, possibly for Southampton. I need to find out his position, but I believe that's what he is. And he has then come out and publicly spoken about this, and basically confirmed that they rejected the offer. Now, but what he did say, which is now what leans me towards, I think something's going to happen here with this move. His words were, "We may reconsider if we get the right offer in." So basically what he's saying is he's up for sale. At the right price, we'll sell James Ward-Prowse. James Ward-Prowse, as we know, ExWHUEmployee has already reported this. James Ward-Prowse is keen to move to West Ham. He wants to go back to the Premier League. I think we're going to be a one-horse race in this? I'm not sure. I do think there's a chance other clubs are going to start sniffing around soon. So I think West Ham need to act quickly. Let's be honest, we're not good at that. We're not good at acting quickly at all in anything we do. We're slow. I talked about in the previous video. I don't want to be moaning here, but we are slow. However, there has been a further update on the Ward-Prowse situation. This is from ExWHUEmployee on Patreon. If you're not a patron, go and check it out. It's patreon.com/the West Ham Way. It is very well worth joining that. You get the content's fantastic. Plus, you get the exclusive news and bits and pieces from X directly to your phone. It's brilliant. So yeah, if you haven't checked that out, go and do so. So X has actually reported on this further now. His report is that West Ham are now going to submit a follow-up bid for James Ward-Prowse now that's going to be more closer to, we believe, than what they require. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near it still, personally, from what I understand, but it is going to be an improved offer for James Ward-Prowse. And what's interesting, what X has said, is that the club, i.e. West Ham, are confident they're going to get a deal. They're confident this is going to be, not necessarily this will be the offer accepted, I just think there's a confidence they will get the player in the end. So there we are. But what X did actually say, but but it has to be significantly more than what we've offered. Now, what's interesting about that is Football Insider have subsequently released an article about this, and they've said that West Ham are going to table a £25 million offer. Now, I wouldn't say that's significantly more, really, you know, on the grand scheme of it, unless, of course, it's 25 million plus, let's say, 5 add-ons. Then you're looking, well, that is significantly more, because effectively that's £10 million more as an overall package. Now, I don't know. I don't know what that means exactly, because it hasn't come out in the wash yet in terms of what we're going to be offering. I don't think it's even been tabled as yet, so we will find that out. But what I'm seeing is that this is a player West Ham are really going for. I've got my feelings on James Ward-Prowse. I know that this seems to be a bit of a mixed bag, doesn't it, with James, with certain fans. I think more leaning towards it, like him in. I personally would like him. I think he'd be a good player for West Ham. I think he's a decent midfielder. His set pieces are outstanding. His free kick taking's, you know, unbelievable. I mean, we're talking up there with Pyatt, Beckham level. He really is. You know, he scores unbelievable levels of goals. I think he's one goal off, isn't he, from equaling, in terms of free kicks goal, equaling David Beckham's record. I mean, that just shows you he's a good player. 28 years old. So I've got no problem with that either. I know some fans seem to have this idea that he's a veteran, he's getting on, but, you know, no, he's not. I think that's a decent age, considering the fact that I think that the majority of people consider players in their prime sort of 26, 27. I don't think 28 is a big problem for me, you know. I really don't. I think he's a good player. As I've said, he's got those talents in the bag in terms of his delivery, but he's also a leader. He's a captain. He's been a captain for Southampton for some time. He's an experienced Premier League player. He knows the Premier League. He's played against all the teams. He's been to all the grounds. I think it would be a very, very wise move to get James Ward-Prowse in the football club. I'd be more than happy to get over the line. But I've got to be honest, there's also the part of me now, because I'm becoming so desperate to see West Ham just get some deals over the line. I'm kind of leaning towards, I just want to see players in the door. It's like I'm losing my sort of fuss of who it is. I just want to see some players come through the door, because we need some players in. 2 weeks today, we commence our Premier League season, and we haven't had a signing. We've put Callum Marshall in, who's going to be working as part of the academy. So we've got no one else. We've got no Premier League, first team players come through the door. It's a big worry. So as I'm recording this and I'm saying all this and enthusiastic, I want to get James Ward-Prowse in, there's also a part of me that's just going, just get him in. I don't care. Whereas, been a month ago, I might have been a bit more fussy. I might have said, hang on, I want to see a bit better than that. But at the moment, I'm thinking, no, just get a player in. We need players in. We need to get a midfielder in. It's vitally important. And as I say, if I had to put money on it, I think James Ward-Prowse will happen. I've got this feeling that this is now edging closer. I can see by next week that we'll have something in place for James Ward-Prowse. That's my gut feeling. But of course, I do still have doubts about the situation, not about James Ward-Prowse, just about West Ham in general. My final thoughts on this are, my confidence is really draining with West Ham. It really is. By the day, by the hour, I'm getting more and more frustrated with the club. And there's more to talk about. As I've recorded this video, Jacob Steinberg's put out an article on The Guardian, which is damning. It's really worrying. It's what we've all feared, that there is a big problem behind the scenes. Steidton and Moyes not getting on at all and agreeing things. And I think it's a cause for concern. It really is a massive cause for concern. This is turning into a summer that's a complete shambles, really. Let's be honest. But on the focus of James Ward-Prowse, I want him at West Ham. I think we are a club that lacks leadership at the moment. We really are. We're going to do another video on the captaincy this week. I'm going to be sitting down with Riley to record something on that, because there's a lot of talk now of who's going to be our captain. And I as I've said before, I don't think there's a standout leader at West Ham at the moment in terms of that team. There's no one that jumps at you straight away and goes, he's going to be our next captain. There's a lot of question marks. And I just think that just enough to show you that we need leaders in that room. And I just think that James Ward-Prowse would tick that box. And as I've said, he's got the experience and, of course, the obvious as well in terms of his ability at set pieces. I think it would be vitally important to have him at our club. And it lift the fans, let's be honest, won't it? We need to see the bodies coming through now. We need to see deals getting done. And I have got a confidence in terms of West Ham getting this over the line. In terms of Not saying I'm confident about West Ham getting the deal done, because I don't have much confidence in West Ham at all at the moment. But if I had to pick a player that I think will happen, this would be one. Along with Carlos Borges. I don't have any confidence anywhere else. I genuinely don't. I don't look at any other players and think, yeah, I do fancy him coming in. I just get the feeling Ward-Prowse is one that probably will happen. We'll get over the line. But it's hard to say 100%, isn't it? I don't trust West Ham at the moment. I really don't. My trust levels with the club are waning hugely. I just feel like we are not performing at all well in this transfer window. We are really, really struggling. And it's been confirmed, and we'll talk about this Jacob Steinberg article in another video that'll be out tomorrow, okay? And we'll talk about that in far more detail and break that down exactly what he said. But it is if you haven't seen it yet, go and have a look in the Guardian. Go online, check it on the Guardian, and it's a really worrying view or picture of how West Ham are performing at the moment and what's going on behind the scenes. And it all makes sense. It all adds up. You kind of go, well, obviously, yeah, because this is what we're seeing, because the strategy is all over the shop. Really is worrying. But when it comes to James Ward-Prowse, I'm going to lean on the side of optimism here. I'm going to try and lean towards more of that. And I'm going to say, I think this will happen. I think that I'm not necessarily confident the second bid will be accepted, but you get the feeling we're getting closer. This deal is edging closer to completion. We will get it over the line. I mean, my God, we need it to happen. We really, really need this to happen now. And I genuinely believe that James Ward-Prowse will be a very good signing for West Ham.